So today I'll be discussing my top 10 anime and manga arcs. These arcs will be placed on the list due to how much I like them and how much they impacted on me viewing the series. Also, I'll be choosing one arc per series, so multiple arcs from a series won't be appearing, and I'll just choose the one specific arc from that series that I like the most. I'll try not to spoil anything from the arcs I'm listing, and I'll just try to give a brief reason on why I like them. This is obvious, but this top 10 list is of course my opinion and not quote-unquote objective, so you already know you won't have to get mad if you disagree. With that being said, subscribe if you haven't, hit the like button, turn on bell notifications, and also follow my Twitter down below where you can see me reacting to series that I'm currently watching and just overall updates on the channel. Now without further ado, let's get into the video.
Fighting
Starting off at number 10, I have the Chimera Ant arc from Hunter x Hunter. This is a pretty confusing pick to have at number 10 as people usually have it as their favorite. But hey, guess what? I have different opinions. The Chimera Ant arc was an arc that really impacted me when I was starting off watching anime. 2 years ago was the first time I saw it, and it pushed me so much to keep watching on anime as it was pretty much an amazing arc. Hunter x Hunter was already great before with York New, but this section of the series changed my view on it completely. From the struggling character dynamic between Gon and Killua, the growing nature of Meruem, and the strong will of the cast while going up against the Chimera Ants was such a great experience to see. It also had one of the greatest fights in anime and manga, being Netero vs Meruem, while it had such an iconic scene with Gon and Pitto. Seeing Gon start to become more aggressive and serious was something I never thought would happen, and him going more solo was even more surprising as he had always trusted people. The Chimera Ant arc overall was just one of those arcs that impacted the series greatly through the story and the viewers as well. The next arc on the list, coming at number 9, is the Marineford arc from One Piece. Undoubtedly one of the greatest war arcs in anime and manga, if not the greatest. This arc is the changing point of One Piece, and it carried that part well, by not just changing our main characters, but the world of One Piece itself. Seeing so many people breaking through Marineford just to save one crewmate is shocking, but it shows how much Whitebeard cares about his crew, and Whitebeard himself was amazing. Seeing him fight and fight every time he gets wounded badly just to save Ace deserves my respect. The revelations, fights, and emotional moments it assembled in one arc in like 31 chapters really made it outshine the other arcs in One Piece, with the only arc coming close to it being Enies Lobby. But like I said at the start of the video, I can only do one arc per series, but I loved Enies Lobby as well. Also, reading the arc of the Marineford being the backstory of Luffy, Ace, and Sabo just makes Marineford even sadder. Seeing how much these characters cared for each other, then seeing what happened in Marineford makes the arc even more connecting. Overall, Marineford was a great changing point for One Piece's story and served some great development for Luffy for the future. Even though it was subtle, it was good. The next arc at number 8 I have on the list is the Ruinheim arc from Monster. This arc is phenomenal, from start to finish. This is the final arc and length of Monster, and the build up from everything before pays off in this grand scale of an arc. It's chilling, and the whole atmosphere of the setting was just unnerving. I think the atmosphere plays a great purpose in why this arc is such a 10 out of 10. Johan, Tenma, Grima, and Longi were amazing, and seeing their grave decisions take place in one arc was exciting. But Johan himself was full on scary, not in design but just his overall presence he has in the story. Also his impact on each character, like a puppeteer, he makes them dance to his tune. The theme that he represents goes up against Tenma once again for the final time, and seeing the conclusion of Monster from this was just amazing. The scenery of Doomsday manga spread as well is one of the things that came out from this arc, and I can say it's one of the most iconic manga spreads of all time. The ending of this arc doesn't disappoint, for me at least. I love the character conclusions for both Johan and Tenma as well, as we got to see Tenma's final decision take place. This is truly the peak of Monster, and if you haven't read or watched it yet, I strongly advise you to. Now the next arc at number 7 is Hitagi End from the Monogatari series. It was pretty hard picking one arc as my favorite from the series as there's so many amazing arcs, but I decided to choose one that definitely affected me on a personal level as well. The narrator has switched from Araragi to Kaiki, and seeing the change to get a new perspective on the world of Monogatari was too good. Seeing the world from Kaiki's eyes and finding out more about his beliefs and actions was just such a great experience. I also loved how at the start of the arc, Kaiki had told the viewers to be wary about what is true and what is not, telling us how things could be fake even if it was shown in the story. Seeing the ending of this arc really makes us come back to that quote completely. Also, Nadiko's character in the arc was executed perfectly, and her confrontation with Kaiki is one of the best confrontations in anime. Seeing Kaiki trying to deceive her, which is pretty much the main objective of the arc, was compelling, and observing the ways he takes action in his plan was fun to watch. I loved his interactions, intrigued by his direction, and connected to his beliefs that struck Nadeko. Hitagi End was an amazing arc that delivered some of the best moments of Monogatari and the best character of it as well. At number 6, I have the Farmland arc from Vinland Saga. This arc is the definition of amazing character development. Continuing on from the prologue arc with Thorfinn having no reason to live anymore, he becomes a slave, and when he does, he slowly starts to find reason to live again. Seeing the journey is just too good, really makes you feel for Thorfinn and the developing stages he goes through. Also, him finding out how to become a true warrior his father had always wanted him to be, while working with Askeladd to do so, just doubles the reason why this arc is phenomenal. Thorfinn finding what it takes to be a true warrior while still finding a motive for what he wants to do in the future is such a good combo for his character. A character who had lost everything in himself and now starts to fill up that hollow shell, building it to become a better person than he was in the past. The Farmland arc also does a great job at characterizing Canut's role as the king, making him seem like a tyrant but actually trying to craft a peaceful place in his own way. Overall, the Farmland arc is amazing for Thorfinn's character growth as well as crafting him into a great character now. At number 5, I have the Nationals arc from Haikyuu. This arc is full on peak Haikyuu by far. Not so many people I've seen have this arc in their top 10, as all of it hasn't appeared in the anime yet, but this arc is deserving of being in my list. I finished reading it a month ago, so it's still clear in my mind, and man, this arc was really amazing. The matches that were shown, the new introduced characters, and the intensity of the sport being shown to connect everyone to win was extraordinary. I also really loved the messages that were conveyed by the different characters of the arc. Whether they were new or reoccurring, they easily hit us with their words one time, and I think the mangaka does a great job with the dialogue. How the characters grew the whole arc, from changing their pace of play to thinking of overall new moves, was great to see, and also feeling for each of the teams we meet, whether they win or lose, made it a great experience reading the arc. Even if the teams were opponents, we still cared for them, cause the mangaka did a really great way of making us feel for each and every one of them. Overall, the Haikyuu Nationals arc is one of those arcs that became one of my favorites with me not even knowing. It just surprised me by how good it was. At number 4, I have the second Yoshika arc from Vagabond. Wow, this arc was intense. From the start to the very end, it was thrilling. The fights that we came to see in this arc were either emotional, exciting, or just overall shocking, as this was the arc where Musashi went up against 70 members of the Yoshika at once. This is also the arc where it had shown Musashi slowly developing, not fully as that's in the arc after this one, but slowly changing, and it was great seeing him go through this when fighting the Yoshika school. The art in this section of Vagabond was also outstanding. It was able to convey the feelings of each character perfectly and make us actually start to feel for the enemies Musashi went up against. Overall, this arc served a great purpose as a starting turning point for Musashi's character, and it also gave us one of the best fights in manga. The next arc on this list, coming at number 3, I have the D4C arc from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The D4C arc is from JoJo's Part 7, and since I'm doing one arc per series, I still count it as JoJo's as a whole, which made it hard to pick my favorite from the entire series. But I decided to go for this one that had the biggest impact on me. The D4C arc is undoubtedly one of the best seinen arcs of all time. This arc had me getting confused, emotional, hyped, and just overall satisfied. It was able to have a grand scale mystery, amazing character dynamics, and such an amazing confrontation. Also having one of my, if not my favorite stand battle in JoJo. Johnny Joestar vs Funny Valentine was really good to see, as it serves as a great development not just to Johnny's abilities but his character as well, from someone who was unable to care about other people to sacrificing the one thing he sought out for just to save one person. Funny Valentine as well had amazing characterization, and people actually started to sympathize with his patriotic views as he cared about his country greatly. The D4C arc is just really one of my favorites, and I'd say this arc and the next two arcs are close together as just my overall favorites of all time. At number 2, I have the Golden Age arc from Berserk. This arc is really the best flashback in all of anime and manga. It's crazy how this is just the backstory of Guts and Griffith, and as an arc, it's greatness. It shows the origins of Guts and gives us everything on his life before the Black Swordsman arc. It also shows us who Griffith actually was and what he was to Guts, a friend and an enemy. It gives us the tale of friendship and betrayal in ways that shocks us completely and hate a character with all our hearts. The Golden Age was just really consistently good throughout, making each important character involved take their roles to the next level and the plot developing in a good manner, not boring the reader in any way. This arc also has the iconic eclipse being at the end of this amazing journey. If you haven't read this arc yet, you're in for a tough ride. Your emotions will go everywhere whilst reading it, but you will never regret it. The final arc coming at number 1 as my favorite is the Shogun assassination arc from Gintama. This arc is perfect in my opinion, of course. But I really wanted to talk about Farewell Shinsengumi as well, as I see them as equals as arcs. But I decided on Shogun Assassination as that was the arc that made Gintama tied with JoJo at my top favorite anime. But the reason the Shogun Assassination is at my number 1 spot is because of the amazing moments it had compiled in about 8 episodes. Gintama usually does this, but damn, this arc was next level greatness, and it's crazy how an arc equal to this came right after, which just makes Gintama 10 out of 10 easily. I love the dynamic between Gintoki and Takasugi, and going into their backstories while the fight was going on was phenomenal. I haven't seen any other anime that used flashbacks in a fight better than this, to be honest. Best fight in anime by far. It's also crazy how I just recently finished watching this and it's already up there. Well, that's the kind of impact Gintama has on you anyway. I'll also be making a video on the Shogun Assassination arc, and I might do one on the Farewell Shinsengumi arc as well, so get ready for that. So that's where I'm gonna end it off for today. Hopefully you did enjoy, and if you did, make sure to go down and comment some more video ideas for next time. But like always, subscribe if you haven't, hit the like button, turn on bell notifications, and follow my Twitter down below. It's been Endless Requiem, peace.